Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Kakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who rule well, and peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect. This is your brother Dawah from the Middle Valley Camp here in Greenville, South Carolina, coming back with another video on sincerity and in truth, and Lord willing, it can be edifying. And we have another bank failure, all right, more economic downturn, more proof that America as an economic powerhouse as well as a military powerhouse is coming to a close. All right, America's becoming weaker. Okay, all right, from sending all this money to Ukraine, to Israel, to Taiwan, all right, the trillions of dollars in debt they're already in. These bank failures, man, it's close. All right, any day now this place could collapse, man. All right, and all it would take is a small black swan event of not small as in, something seemingly minuscule like a cyber attack or something like that on a bank or something like that, and everybody's money goes missing. And this place will be, set off. All right, but we have another bank failure, and this is from zeroheads.com. It says bank failures begin again. Philly's Republic first seized by FDIC. And this was Zero Heads pretty much posting this up back in January. It's talking about March will be lit, reverse repo ends, BTFP expires, Fed cuts, and QT ends. And those two are allegedly. It says, admittedly, we were a couple of weeks off, but trouble has been brewing in the banking sector. And tonight, after close, we get the first bank failure of the year. The FDIC just seized the troubled Philadelphia Bank, Republic First Bank, Bancorp, and struck an agreement for the lender's deposits and majority of its assets to be bought by Fulton Bank. So all these different bailouts and shit. Republic Bank has about $6 billion worth of assets, and $4 billion worth of deposits. And at the end of January, according to the FDIC, it says the FDIC estimated the failure will cost the deposit insurance fund $667 million. So they defaulted. As the Wall Street Journal reports, Republic First had for months struggled to stay afloat. Around half of its deposits were uninsured at the end of 2023, according to FDIC data. And FDIC is kind of like an insurance, like in particular bank like accounts and stuff. You're insured up to like $250,000. But if you have more than that, and to these high net worth individuals, their money isn't safe in that bank. It says its total equity or assets minus liabilities was $96 million at the end of 2023, according to FDIC filings. And that's kind of small in comparison to the billions of dollars that they had. They owed a lot of money. It says that excluded $262 million of unrealized losses on bonds that it labeled held to maturity, which means the losses hadn't counted on its balance sheet. So so this is another thing, they be putting their money. So when you do, I have to, do a quick lesson real quick as far as breaking this down. When you're dealing with fractional reserve banking, which most of these banks do, they receive all this money and they put your money to work, but only a portion of the money is actually accessible at any given time. That's why if there was ever runs on the bank, they wouldn't have the money to give their people their money back. But this is how these banks make their money, because they get millions of dollars in deposits and they take that money and they put it in yields and whatnot. And so these bonds were supposed to be held to maturity, but as you can see on this chart, them motherfuckers they've accumulated like $262 million in losses, but they haven't closed it out, so it hasn't gone through yet. But they in the red. It says Republic's Bank's 32 branches across New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and New York will reopen as branches of Fulton Bank on Saturday, according to the statement from the FDIC. Depositors of Republic Bank will become depositors of Williamsport, Pennsylvania-based Fulton Bank, the regulator said. So they didn't got bought out. They didn't got, saved, so to speak. It says you should not be surprised given the rates are higher now than they were at the start of the SVB crisis. I think that's Silicon Valley Bank, and that was last year. It says, which means unless banks have hedged hard or dumped their bonds at a loss, they are even more underwater. So this look at that, and all these different high, these high yield bonds and whatnot. They put this money in for a 10-year bond, and it's supposed to make them more money, right? And they be investing in different things, and that's on a huge level. All right, but they said if you ain't hedged against them or if you ain't, pulled them out at a loss, your ass is in the red right now. So these banks aren't going to be saved, man. And we've been saying through the spirit, they're going to do away with this entire system because when you deal with these bonds and the stock market and stuff, man, all this shit is propped up on debt. All right, in the book, scriptures speak about it in Habakkuk, the second chapter, about him that ladeth himself with thick clay, meaning debt. Because on paper, it looks like these people have money. If you see all the houses and all that shit, cars. All right, but this is all debt, man. You can't build a society based on debt. Our society isn't going to be based on debt. It's going to be based on the Lord blessing us, man. But we're going to have resources. America's U.S. dollar isn't backed by gold anymore. It's not backed by anything. It's barely backed by oil because you got BRICS coming with their own currency, trying to make their own currency to combat the U.S. dollar or the petrodollar, which the world uses to buy oil, and try to replace it with whatever this BRICS currency will be, in the near future. And then America doesn't, the dollar is only a powerful source of currency because people have deemed it so. Once nobody has a deem for it, hey, that's when you get your hyperinflation, man. And on the financial level, these banks are going under. And once people actually realize it, all right, this shit is done, man. All right, you should really consider pulling your money out of these banks and shit. And that's for the average American. We ain't really worried about the money, man. The Lord gonna take care of us regardless. But those that think they're gonna trust in this system, man, the Lord got something else planned for you, man. But just a little bit of, I'll finish the chapter, but just a little bit of information on that. It says add to this the fact that last week, seasonally adjusted for tax season, U.S. banks saw the largest deposit outflows since 9/11. Yes, that 9/11. So people taking their money out. It says, and we showed earlier, absent the 126 billion, I think that's billion, outstanding in the Fed's BTFP bailout fund, which is now terminated and now slowly down as the term loans mature. So everything's, this place is failing. All right, and I'm gonna get that, Lord willing, in Isaiah the 19th chapter. Egypt is erring in every work thereof, man. But I want to get this, because this is also surrounding Egypt, and this is spiritual Sodom and spiritual Egypt, and just how the Lord brought down Egypt the first time. He's breaking this place down again. Just how he broke down Rome financially, the Lord is breaking down America, because this is the revived Roman Empire. This is Egypt. This is all these different kingdoms roll into one. And the Lord is systematically breaking them down just like he did before, man. So let's get this. This is Isaiah chapter 30. And I actually want to start at verse 31. Or actually, Isaiah 31:1. It says, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help. And then once again, this is spiritual Sodom and spiritual Egypt, according to Revelation, the 11th chapter. And stay on horses and trust in chariots, because there are many. Yeah, you got all the different cars, all the different technology, all these different things, the military might. And people trust in these things. All right, not trusting in the host of heaven. Now, the previous chapter goes into the rebellious children. All right, those of our people that choose to cleave to the system instead of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. And if you have, some eyes, if you have spiritual eyes to see, then you should see that this place is on the decline. Morally, it's on the decline. The moral decay of this place is just, astronomical. The infrastructure, man, everything is getting old, wearing down. Look at the fucking roads, man. All right, we walk on rock all day. This is Esau Kingdom. All right, ain't nobody got no money for real. People, even people that are making $100,000 a year, talking about they living paycheck to paycheck. So if you think you about to just make a dream out of this place, you're not. All right, the dating market's all fucked up. All right, the family structure is completely destroyed. They pushing everybody to be moles and shit. And then economically, it's on the global macro, they call it macro. Micro meaning small, macro meaning like big, so to speak. Macroeconomics, so dealing with governments and these banks and shit, they're going under, man. So ain't nobody doing good right now. So you trusting in these horses and chariots and stuff because there are many. It says in horsemen, because they are very strong, but they look not into the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord. All right, we trust in the host of heaven because, we trust in the heavenly Father, the power of hosts, because he's bringing an end to this place, man. And it's systematic right now. You know, it's a little bit by bit, but eventually when the Lord finally blows on it, so to speak, you know, the whole house of cards is going to fall, man. You know, and I wanted to get that, jumping back, let's get Isaiah the 19th chapter. And let's see. This is Isaiah chapter 14 or 19 and verse 14. The Lord hath mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. So when they're actively, if you look at those charts, looked at the bonds and all that stuff, they're actively trying to stop themselves from falling. You know, and the more they flail their arms, the quicker they're pretty much falling, man. You know, the Lord is causing them to err. So no, the only way you're gonna be able to fix this so-called economy is by creating a new one. NWO. All right, the MOTB. And that's the will of the Lord ultimately being fulfilled. Nobody can resist the will of the Lord. The Lord has Esau set up to be able to push this thing, and that's going to bring in that hour of temptation, man. And when that hour of temptation comes, then, you know, hey, there's certain men that are going to be, you know, beheaded for not taking it. And then there's certain brothers, we ain't going to be working these jobs no more. We ain't going to be out here, you know, we're going to be as pilgrims upon the earth, like the scriptures say. All right, but hey, that's going to make way for World War III to go nuclear. And that's going to make way for Yahushua to come back and redeem us. So these things must be done. America's going to, its economy is going to have to fail. The dollar is done. It's going to fail. And after that, hey, things are going to be moving fast, man. You know, verse 15, it says, neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. So there's not even going to be any work. Okay. You got your jobs and stuff now. You got these so-called immigrants coming in, and they're going to probably work for less than what, you know, the average person is asking. You know, $20 an hour is the new minimum wage now. Just because they raised the minimum wage, all right, they're going to have to raise the price of goods to combat, because now they're spending more on labor, man. All right, don't think they're going to keep things the same and then just start paying people more. No, the price of goods goes out because the price to make these goods, because of the people that have to be paid in order to make them, goes up. The price of everything goes up, man. It's just a correlation. It's a correlation. So therefore, you know, people are still struggling, even if you're making a decent money. All right, you're still struggling. All right, so there ain't gonna be no work for this place, man. You know, I just want to bring out these couple scriptures, and I'm gonna finish off here. Actually, in Ecclesiastes chapter 12, it says, "Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them." It says, while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain, and the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble. And that's the point I wanted to get. The keepers of the house are starting to tremble. You know, these financial analysts, you know, you got your Jim Cramers and all these guys, you know, they be talking about the economy and stuff. All right, the keepers of the house are starting to tremble, man. Those that keep up with, you know, with the economy and with, you know, how things are moving, our GDP is moving up and all that stuff. All right, they're starting to tremble. And the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few. And those that look out of the windows be darkened. All right, it says, and the door shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low. And he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. All right, so we have another bank failure. You know, and of course it got rescued, but why are all these banks failing all of a sudden? Because this place has been built up on that debt. You know, so this is going to affect jobs. This is going to affect the economy. Continue, and this is a small bank, but just wait till them big banks start to fail, man. Those so-called banks that are so-called too big to fail. You know, that got rescued back in 2008. They're not going to get rescued this time. They're going to let these banks fall, or if they do rescue these banks, they're going to be the first ones to implement that MOTB system and put it into play. All right, that's what that whole, I think that Fed now shit, you know, it's been active for a few months now, you know, and they've been running it in the background, perfecting it. And eventually they're going to push it to the forefront with the whole instant payment system. They got the infrastructure pretty much in place for the MOTB with the NFC technology, you know, and the chip readers and all that shit, man. All right, they getting ready. And all you need now is for an event to cripple this economy, man. Bring it to its knees, and, you know, it's going to cause chaos. And as their little motto goes, out of order, chaos. Order out of chaos, you know. So we're going to see, watch as well as pray as always. Lord, when this video was edifying as well as exhorting, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shah Bahashim, Rakah HaKodash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to the whole flood. Till next time, Shalom.